Welcome back to A Mountain Echo. It's your boy Frankie Rios, and that is other direction now. Wait,
Oh, there,
that
there you go.
and that is Jonah Gallegos and in Prepco Sports. Welcome back to the show. If you haven't already, subscribe this video, and go ahead and check out our partner here at surfandturfgolf.com. They got some sweet swag. They have their hometown collection is where I would tell you to go check out first. They have a bunch of stuff for all kinds of different college campuses. So even if you're not a fan of golf itself, they have some pretty cool things for um, Oklahoma, Texas, TCU, Texas Tech, Oregon, all kinds of stuff. So if you are a college football fan or a college fan in general and you want to represent your campus, chances are you have some swag available for you there. And yeah, Jonah, ready to rock and roll? How you doing, brother man?
I'm doing good. Let's get going.
Yes, sir. We want to get started with um, a little bit of a bummer. Everyone, I saw Coach Maya at the game last night, and we should have beat Western Kentucky. We're gonna get started right there. We're gonna start right at the nitty gritty, and it is at Hooten. We got a problem.
Hooten, we indeed have a problem.
There was
Well, to be,
some disappointment for sure.
yeah. Well, we beat Western Kentucky, but we lost to Middle Tennessee. You flip flopped it there, but um,
You're right.
it's it was wild that UTEP actually beat Middle Tennessee the other night. Middle Tennessee looked really good at times. I think we also made them look good a few times. We just had no offense really. And me and you were texting during the game, having a nice exchange, and I think we both agree that our offense is just not where it should be.
I don't think we agreed at all, and I think I'm okay with saying
'Cause-
that we're struggling. I don't know if it was Coach's beautiful red blazer that he was wearing. He's usually a lot more animated, and he just looked like he didn't have the energy on Saturday. Um, I don't know if it was the team sucking it out of him, if it was the not having just the polo to breathe and sweat it out. I can't imagine
That's
how
what I was
much weight he
thinking
lost.
too.
He's usually already sweating, and so having that, I don't know. But he looked like he was lacking some energy.
Yeah, that poor dude. I feel like he was burning up the whole game. It was a nice little look on him though. It brought back, of course, the Lou Henson vibes, but
Mhm.
also like maybe a decade ago, whenever coaches actually put effort into getting ready, which I was telling everyone around me. I was like, yeah, but I was. It was almost a mirror image of the game against Western Kentucky where they jumped out to like a 21-2 lead, and I think we led like 19-4, something like that yesterday. Um, but yeah, and then they just went cold, or I don't know. Sometimes I think that Hulan likes to take people out every time they make mistakes, and he's just kind of experimenting with um, the lineups, and sometimes that kind of it messes with the jailness of the squad who's on the floor. And he didn't even have. I'm not trying to attack him, but he didn't have Jones or Elliott, who were decent scorers in the last couple minutes of the game when things were
Mhm.
getting close. And even sometimes Jones does a little one-on-one ball too much, but he can score off of that. But then he turns the ball over a little too much for most people's liking. But he's also our leading scorer, so why not have him in? So I was a little confused about that, and I read on X and a couple other Facebook stuff that a lot of fans are like, actually upset about that. They were like adding who in and stuff, and like I don't know if he takes time to reply to them anymore, but yeah, I'm sure he saw something like that.
Yeah, he might have time to respond to a couple of those. Um, I don't know. I feel like that's like a little bit of a therapy session for him because he will respond either publicly or privately. He will do both. Um,
Yeah,
I was hearing a couple whispers around me also of like put Jones back in. I don't know if that would have been the answer.
yeah,
I think Middle Tennessee did a really good job of knowing that that's our game plan, and so I think there was a little bit of gamesmanship there where Coach Hooten was trying to confuse Middle Tennessee because once you have Jones, you know what the play is going to be, where it's going to go through. Um, there was a couple 3 pointers there where I wish the ball would have gone one or two more passes. I think it was Elliott that shot a three. It was the second to last three that was shot, and
Oh,
Jones was
it
kind
was
of wide open.
Pickens.
Was it Pickens? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it was. Yeah.
it was a deep three. I think we still had about 8 seconds left in the shot clock, and it was a nice setup play. And I think it just needed one or two more passes for us to be able to go score with, there was about 40 seconds left. We were down by three. Even if you get a two, which you could see coach saying two, two, two. I don't know if that was a
Yeah.
play or if let's just get two. Um, but I think we had an opportunity there down by three with almost a full minute left to go in and score a 2 point shot, nothing too ill advised. Come back, play defense, which is what we do great at. And we just couldn't do that. When you're shooting threes, you're forcing yourself to play miracle ball.
Yeah, I don't know why this team likes to, when the plays don't go as smooth as they should be, sometimes they just go back to relying on the 3-point shot,
Mm-hmm.
which we do have shooters like Versesh, but they're so inconsistent. I would say Versesh is inconsistent. Rando's here and there. I mean, he's kind of gone up lately, but sometimes I kept yelling. I was like, "Go down low!" Like, um, I mean, there's a couple of fumbled passes like by Mims, and he had a wide open dunk that was a good pass by probably Pickens that
Mm-hmm.
it just went through his hands, and it just seemed like one, he wasn't there mentally. He was kind of in his head after a couple of turnovers. But yeah, I don't know why we don't go. No, we have aggressive big men. I mean, Malonga finally had a decent game. He had about 10 or 12 points. Mullen, who's pretty thick, he built like a D lineman.
They were
Um,
saying he's lost 40 pounds since the summer.
really, wow.
Yeah, it was on one of the broadcasts actually against the Western Kentucky game. Um,
Okay,
Adam Young was saying that they got into some program and he lost 40 plus since August. I
Adam
don't know if it
Young's
was August or little nuggets,
always
huh?
dropping that. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Even him saying that against that game, they're saying like a lot of the road teams are like it's like flip flop from last year, right? Or was it
Hmm.
right where we couldn't win? We won. Anyways, we're losing a lot of all the conference teams are losing a lot of road games this year. So this road win by Middle Tennessee yesterday was one of the very few. I know Liberty's won a couple, but I think it was like at Delaware, who's not a um, they're good, but they're not as good as some of the other teams. So
Sure.
it's just a really really good conference, but that's a game we should have had. We should have been in fourth place right now. Now we're like in seventh or eighth or something like
Yeah,
that.
we're down there. I do have a theory about the traveling, which is what Adam Young was talking about. With conference USA, you have to travel so much that you are going to have a disadvantage when you do travel. However,
Hmm.
um, Middle Tennessee came and played UTEP on Thursday, and I would suppose that they didn't travel back, so they did have a few days to stay in the area, and it had
Oh,
less of a travel feel because they were in the area for 3 or 4 days before they went to the Pan Am.
that's true. And then every time they have road trips down here, they go UTEP, NMSU. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a yeah. Wow, hot take. A lot good take right there. That's
Well,
some
it's
good
just
stuff right there.
it makes sense. If you're a gambler, you always have to look at the traveling and where were they been, and if you want to take the over under. I would never, but um, well, um, hopefully, NMSU men's basketball can pick it up. It's not over yet. I will say I do not like how the offense is playing. You have a different take than I do, but I think they need to be able to push the ball a little bit quicker. I don't like when they try to get into sets, when they try to make full plays, and it's not organized basketball. You don't have the team long enough to be able to develop a coach pop Spurs setup basketball where you're playing this beautiful basketball. Is it great? Yes. But the matter of fact is you don't have that chemistry yet. And so what you're trying to do, it takes time to develop. Let the boys play. They're ballers. They can shoot. And I think if you just hone in on the on defense, which we're great at, and just let the boys go. But you did prove me wrong. Those alley oops that we're seeing, they are set plays, and it's not just coming out of nowhere. So hopefully they can figure it out. Conference play season is young.
Yeah, I don't know. After I was defending myself because I was like, this guy, he's wrong and stuff. And but after that, after like taking a day, blah blah blah. You're right. I think they probably do play a little better, just kind of going with it, going with the flow. And at this point of the season, it's probably a little too late to focus on your offense and change things here and there. So yeah, I agree. It's kind of not freestyle basketball. I don't know what the right word is, but yeah, just let them kind of run with it. But also the defense, I just don't understand if the officials watch film or whatnot because the first half was called completely different than the second half. And in fact, of course, I'm biased as an Aggie fan, but some of the contact that we had on our end, they were not calling fouls. Kyrie Smolin was grabbing rebounds and uh, just kind of throwing it up, and he was getting hit, so he could get to the line at least. And even
Mm,
though we weren't making free throws, but on the other side, they're doing the same thing, kind of attacking down low, and they were calling everything. I was a little confused. I was, and even on the
yeah,
road,
yeah.
it seemed like they call it more tight. And the first game with Western Kentucky, they weren't calling too much, and we weren't fouling 7 fouls 8 minutes into the game or 5 minutes into the game, so it was nice. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't a foul problem the whole game yesterday, but second half it was getting a little annoying.
Yeah, it seemed like they swallowed their whistle a little bit. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, some more calls on that, but yeah, I don't know. There was again all the I was looking at. We had a different perspective. I could see you. You couldn't see me. You couldn't find me, but we were on opposite sides
Yeah.
of the arena. But I'm right behind the bench usually, and
Oh,
I
okay.
am able to see coaches' facial expressions, and most importantly, I'm able to see coach directly in the huddle during those timeouts. And the energy was low. Every time they'd call a silly foul, coach was just kind of putting his head down, like just frustrated and kind of it seemed like there was nothing we could really do about it. You could just feel there was a big shift. So I don't know. That one kind of felt different. I really felt like we were going to be able to beat Middle Tennessee. UTEP struggled with them on Thursday, so I went in thinking this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to win by another 20, 25 points. The way we were
Yeah.
able to really dominate against Western Kentucky, but it is what it is. It's a tough sport to dominate constantly and consistently. As you said, consistency is an issue. So,
Yeah, so I mean, they have a chance to rebound this week, of course, but they play the number one team in the conference, Liberty, who's
mhm.
undefeated. But win that game, we won't be talking like this.
Yeah, if we can pull out a win, or when we pull off this win in Lynchburg, uh, we're gonna play them on Thursday, and then we'll stay in the area and go over to Delaware, and so I'm assuming we won't come back to New Mexico and then travel out. They'll probably stay out the same way Middle Tennessee stayed around UTEP until the game. So I don't necessarily know how that works, but on Thursday we will be playing Liberty at Liberty, and then Saturday we'll be playing Delaware at Delaware. Thursday's game was going to be on CBS.
Oh, really? This Thursday?
Yes,
The
this
the
Thursday at
Liberty?
4 p.m. on CBS Sport Network.
Oh gosh. Well, that's two
No
national
pressure.
media games in a row. So let's go, bounce
Yes,
back,
sir.
baby. We
Yes,
believe in you,
sir.
Huan.
And then now let's move over here to our women's basketball. They split the series, same thing that we did with our men's team. They're now 6-10, 2-2 in conference play. So um, yeah, we're trying to figure out ways to win. I messed up. I didn't put their Middle Tennessee is who we lost to 55 to,
Oh,
or sorry,
okay.
51 to 88 is Middle Tennessee lost there.
Yeah, it's just yeah. I don't want to say there's a big talent difference from our women's and the other teams, but um, they're just not as big as as we've seen teams in the past, height wise, but um, they still move around. They have a short guard, I believe, who's everywhere. And I read our fellow friend aggregators a column on their one win the other day, and that
Mhm.
he had a good little excerpt about her, just that she brought the energy and that she was just kind of everywhere. And I should have remembered her name, but I don't.
Um, I'm not sure who he may have mentioned,
Yeah,
but we have a senior. She's from Spain. Is it Lucia? And
maybe.
she's been playing really good.
How tall is
She
she?
has. Oh, good question. Let me. I don't know how tall she is, but I know she's a forward.
Okay,
Height. She's 6 foot.
okay. I don't think it's her, but
Mhm.
I mean, I've
Okay,
I've heard I've seen her name a lot in uh some of the X post.
gotcha. Yeah, they're they're right in the middle of the road. Apparently, that's a team I haven't gone out to go see. I'll try to catch on ESPN Plus when they're on there, and it looks like they have some shooters. It's just getting that momentum going. So as the season continues in conference play, we can make sure that we're keeping an eye on that and seeing what their record is or their standings. I'm trying to pull it up now on where they stand in conference play.
I think they're close to what the men's were, like that 7-8 spot.
Hmm. And then the ladies are going to be hosting this week. They will be playing FIU on Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Pan Am. And then Saturday, they're going to be playing Missouri State at noon at the Pan Am. Uh, and so they're going to be flip flopping. I think it was the FIU game. They're doing some promo um, with Coach Pat.
Oh yeah, it's like We Back Pad or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. They don't. I don't really know what that is, but I'll probably look into it.
Yeah, I saw that at the game. So we'll make sure that we like share stuff on what that
I
what the
have a
promo entails.
I have a random question for you. What do you think about the new NIL? I don't know what it's called, but with the Lou Henson, I forgot what they call it. Lou Henson Excellence something. It was pretty cool how they introduced it. It was a nice little video, and it was nice to have his wife. I believe that was his daughter. I don't know who the other lady was. Um, but yeah, it was a nice little celebration they had at halftime for him.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. We were about to get up to go to the bathroom. I took my nephew, and so it was like time to go to the bathroom. And then everything turned red, so we sat down and enjoyed it. Um, it's creative. I think that's AD Field's first initiative, big change into his perspective on how to um, just become a little bit more competitive in the NIL world. I think Coach Lou Henson is a perfect person to kind of be the champion of that. I
Yeah,
think he's someone everybody knows, and it's cool that his wife Mary was still there. Um, but I hope that they have some better ideas on how to create excitement over it, right? Because we have like
yeah,
what the A Mountain NIL thing that they had going on, and um,
yeah.
I mean, it's all the same people that you're asking for the money. You're just kind of dressing it up
Changing the
differently, right?
name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So what is going to come after this? Because the initiative is there, the need is always there. So what's going to be different? How are we going to support the athletes? How are we going to make it more attractive? Those types of things we're going to continue to see and how it changes and grows. So yeah, that'll be cool. Um, I certainly want to look into what are some of the benefits that you can get from it. I know if you're able to donate to the foundation, you get like parking, you get different tickets, access to different games. Hopefully, they have like dinners or galas or something where all these people can get together and kind of create some type of club. If you can create a community, that's how you start to create a stronger bond, right? So hopefully that
yeah,
type of stuff starts to happen.
yeah. They had a word for it. It's like a fancy word, but yeah, they were trying to promote like, hey, you'll get like nice little dinners and stuff,
Hmm.
uh, and they had a young promotion. But it was really cool that she donated 50,000 right off the bat to kind of get us started. But yeah, you're right. It's hard. It's hard for small schools, but some do it, right? I'm sure there's an example
Most.
out there of how they make us successful. I mean, a lot of the other Conference USA schools somehow still are players, so um, maybe we can kind of copy. And then that's what it is in any kind of sport is copy and paste league. Um, but you're right. It kind of reminds me of like not to diss myself, but like me, I'm like, hey guys, like subscribe for my Substack, $5 a month. Like it's cheap. It just kind of seems like they should be kind of doing a little more, like you said, with kind of, hey, this is what we can offer and stuff. So that's kind of my first thought too on like, well, okay, well, they're asking people for money, but what do, and sadly, it's kind of what do we get it too? Like, how do, how does it benefit us? So I
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah, we talked about it on a bigger scale with your dad at dinner the other day on how
Yeah.
the bigger schools are actually going through the same issue of, well, what are you going to do for me now? But the question is, what happens when this investment doesn't give me the return that we're expecting, right? Uh, so I think that's on a more in a smaller scale. We're asking folks in this area to donate, but what is their return in investment when the reality is even Mary Henson's $50,000 donation that might cover the offensive line for football, like
That's what I was saying
it's
too. I was
still
like,
not
who gets that 50,000?
who gets it. And I was I went to the North X side of the Pan Am because I was looking for cupcakes. My nephew was like, I want a cupcake, and we were way too high up for the
Yeah.
cheerleaders to come find us. So we
Yeah.
went around looking for cupcakes, and I ran into Coach Field or AD Fields. But I just said hello. We're just walking by, but I had this burning desire to ask him of like, okay, so $50,000, for example, if somebody was to give that money, where does it go? How does it get divided? What if I want to give $50,000 specifically for football? How do I do that? How do all these things work? Because maybe that's the next move is instead of just donating to NMSU Athletics, you can say, hey, I want to give specifically to this sport. I guess that's what boosters are too. But there's just so many questions on like how can we be successful. Um, my unpopular opinion is how NFL teams will like sell out for like the number one draft pick.
Yeah.
What if we just kind of all collectively say, hey, we're gonna suck, which we already kind of do for the next 3 years, but we're gonna save all of our NIL money for one big season, and we're gonna get our
Oh,
$3 million, go get all these players and invest in a really great season, make a bowl game, you make all this money, you make all this television money, and now your investment can start to return that way instead of just putting small amounts of money each year and barely falling short. You go all in on on like a year, a 4 year plan or something.
dang, AD Rios. That's a good little take right there. Maybe AD Fields can I don't know, take some of that to his plan. But yeah, you're right. It just seems so I don't know if the other schools, because obviously I'm not at other schools, but it just seems like the NIL here has been and is remaining still like very secretive. Like, why can't we just, like you said, just tell us where this money goes? How do we invest in one sport? And even like the other day, a couple of players, and I think they were real on X because everyone can be a bot these days too. But he was like having this. He put this link to this NIL page where they can donate to specific players, like they can just if they don't want to give it to like the whole team, it's just like their own little GoFundMe thing, for example.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're right. Yeah, it just seems too secretive to me. Like you got to let us know where our money's going. Like we'll be happy to help. And everyone here will be happy to help as long as it works in their budget. But like yeah, we don't want to just give money away and not know where it's going.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe the problem is we haven't really asked the right questions, or I mean, I haven't for sure. I haven't taken the time to figure out what my options are to be able to support in whatever way possible, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, obviously they're gonna like. I feel like they'll explain it to you when you go and talk to them. But yeah, they should be just a little more like open, like on ads and stuff. Like yesterday, like, hey, we're gonna pump out these ads about the NIL, but this is where it works. And now that it seems like simple to me, but I don't know.
Well, we shall see. Hopefully these words that we say into the void of YouTube and Spotify get to the right ears. And
That little crimson pin though is dope. I'll do it for that.
yeah, that even that's a little different. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But cool. Let's move on. Enough saving the world of NIL and Aggies. Um, it's above our pay grade.
We're
Hopefully
doing it
this at
one
some
YouTube
point
show at a time.
hopefully at some point we start getting some traction. We get some guys that go a little bit bigger, and maybe we do something where we start to help and kind of direct on clarifying some of this information. Uh, Maybe it takes having Joe Fields on our show and kind of describing it a little bit differently, a little bit more candidly, right? I think Adam Young has
Definitely,
him on his podcast all the time, but
yeah.
it just seems so formal, like they're sitting, on I don't know. This kind of seems more of like a Zoom call meeting where people can kind of share a little bit more openly.
I like that. Yeah, you're right. It's a little mechanic, uh, if that's the right word, machine like when they do the interviews. But yeah,
Mhm.
come on, Joe, come on down. Be a fun little
Come
show we have.
on down. Cool. Well, Las Cruces, for the moment you've all been waiting for. Hopefully you enjoyed the Aggie Talk. That is our school in the city. That is the representation of the Dirty South. So we're always going to cover them. Always rooting. It doesn't matter if you're at Mayfield, Centennial, Cruces, Oregon Mountain, Gadsden, Artesia, Carlsbad. Um, we're all have eyes on the New Mexico State Aggies. We're, no matter what game we're at, we always tune in. Let's see where the Aggies are doing. You throw on the Aggie fight song, and it's time to go. So I think
Time to wobble, baby.
that's where we all find our common ground. So happy to get started with NMSU basketball, men's and women. We're struggling, we're getting there. But now let's get into some high school basketball. We'll start here with the girls. There was a big upset this week with Mayfield beating Los Lunas, which is a really interesting matchup, like I said last week, because Centennial lost to Los Lunas at the Hoopla championship game. And uh, it really wasn't even that close. I think it got away from them early and they were able to come back. But if you look at the scoreboard, it wasn't a very exciting game. And the Mayfield Lady Trojans were able to. There was a buzzer beater in the fourth quarter, so they extended it over to overtime, and then Mayfield was able to beat Los Lunas in a really exciting game in their home court, which is what Centennial was not able to do. Uh, we've been saying Centennial, we've been mentioning Centennial a little bit above Mayfield, and this is where Mayfield is now kind of earning back that respect of, hey,
Yeah,
we're the ones who played in the pit last year. We're the ones who deserve this respect. We said we can't sleep on Coach Maya, so here they are, head-to-head matchup. Mayfield has the advantage, but everyone in the city for the ladies are climbing the ranks here. All in line 8, 9, and 10. You have the Las Cruces Bulldogs, Mayfield Trojans, and the Centennial Hawks. Jonah, let's get into it.
I'll say Sienna McInnes is a baller. She's the best player on the girl side in the state. She has the stats to prove that. She's like number one in points per game at like 24.5. I'm gonna get into numbers here because I don't even care. I've written it all down actually. She leads the state in points with 24.4. She's third in 5A in rebounds per game with 8.4. She's first in 5A in both field goals made and free throws made, and is number two in 5A in double doubles with 4. She's just a baller, dude. And like Mayfield goes as far as she goes. She scored the buzzer beater for them to get them to um, OT, and I saw the little video they put out, and it was like a fumbled like ball, like just a broken play for Mayfield, and she just took it and just heaved it up, and it went in off the backboard. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they got other players. I think I'm sure Ashlyn Maya is one of their juniors, who's probably related to Coach Maya, obviously, but she's one of her counterparts, and helps McKinnis out. And I wrote that in the article before saying um, McKinnis just needs some help. Sienna needs some help, and it seems like she probably got some more help from not only Maya, but there's another player called Alex Triste, I believe. I think she's a senior for Mayfield, and um, you have to hold Las Tunas to what I think it was 48
48.
or 30. Yeah,
48. Yeah.
48, right?
Final was 48-51. Uh, but in the four quarters, it was 42. It
Mm-hmm.
was 42
Mm-hmm.
42 after the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so and I said that Centennial was the because Las Unas played out the three other 5A schools in Cruces, and Centennial was the closest it gets them, and that was like a
Mm,
21-point loss. So you hit it on the nail earlier when you said that, and that wasn't really much of a game. So this is a big win. I think they moved up from 12-9, or maybe it's 13-9. But yeah, they're that win was like, hey, we're still here. We're
mhm.
we're coming for y'all. Which is kind of scary for Centennial and Cruces, who we thought would be the ones playing for a district championship at least.
Yeah, we were. I mean, I say we, but I was saying it. Don't sleep on Coach Maya, but no, I
Yeah,
think
you were.
the girls the girls that we have in the city all do really well, and I think that's kind of speaks to the competition in general around here. Um, so I'm excited for district to get started because now we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty even more of
Yeah,
who who can beat who, um, who's got the hot hand really is what it comes down to, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You get that shot up. You put yourself in the right spot, the right time. I don't think there's no such thing as luck when it comes down to winning a game. A shot, maybe here and there, but they put themselves in the right position. They played hard. They played good defense, and that Mayfield court is very unique. In You got some home court advantage when you go down and you play at the Mayfield basketball court there. The crowd is right up on you. You feel the pressure. It's just a little bit different. So, no, shout out to them.
that's true. I never really thought about that, how the court was set up. It's just really old fashioned. That poor school hasn't had a remodel in years, but they did what I wanted one of these schools to do is um, really compete with the higher ranked teams because the
Mhm.
girls side, then the 1 through 6 all have like 3 or less losses, and they just blow out the rest of the field. I mean, Centennial got close with Rio Rancho and Sandia losing by 9, um, but Mayfield did it where they finally got that dub, and then, of course that looks good to the people who handle the ranks and when the seeds come out at that time. So um, yeah, I just feel like they're getting the momentum at the right time. And Centennial
Mhm.
and Cruces are on their own little win streaks, but I just need to see them compete a little better. And they have a chance. Cruces has a chance this week against Hobbs. I believe it's at LCHS on
Oh, we can
Tuesday.
we can look at that real quick. Yes, Hobbs on Tuesday the 13th. Las Cruces
Mhm.
Bulldogs girls will be hosting the Hobbs Eagles at the Dog Pound,
Yeah, see,
and
win that game right there. Prove it. Prove to us.
easy done. Just go do it.
Yeah, right. I think they just won. The girls won. Girls Hobbs team just won the Metro tournament, which I don't like. I don't like that Metro tournament. There's like a little replica of the state tournament. Um, I don't know. Why can't they just wait to play each other? But hey, that's just me.
hmm Yeah, you see here, that's going to be an interesting game. This is the 5A rankings for the state, and Hobbs is number two. So that's going to be a
Hmm.
big matchup there. Number eight, Las Cruces Bulldogs playing the number two Lady Eagles. But let's see. Let's see what they got. It's going to be an interesting one. Um, and then you have Mayfield, who is going to play the. Oh, they don't have a game on Tuesday. They won't play till Thursday against Carlsbad in Carlsbad.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. It's funny because I just wrote all this stuff down and I can't remember anything sometimes.
It's okay. I got you. I gotcha. And then the Centennial girls are going to play on Tuesday or
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Tomorrow they're playing
Yeah,
tomorrow against Del Valle. That
and
one
then
was going
at
to be
Deming
home. Hmm.
or versus Dang. I'm
Oh,
sorry, they're home.
they're home in Deming on Wednesday.
Yeah, this is a little like these since their game against I think Roswell last week when they started. These last four games for them are going to be their actual first true home games because remember they played in the Hoopla tournament, but that was a
Hmm.
tournament game. So Abney's wild for um, kind of waiting that long. To he's like, let's just get road tested right now. Boom, we're not going to play till almost district time at home, which is pretty cool for those young girls to experience. And I think it's probably proven that they've gotten better since then.
Yeah, Coach Abney seems pretty confident about where the girls are at. I think he went all in on what you just said. Essentially, torture them with competition, torture them with travel, and just really get them, forge them into in fire, and diamonds will come out at the end, right? So,
Heck yeah.
really honing in on the fact that he's playing really difficult teams and really excited about the development of the girls. I think that's something that he focuses on a little bit more than at least outwardly, a lot more than the other teams in the city where these girls are properly being developed. I think Centennial as a whole, we talk about football doing the same thing, right? Centennial does a good job about developing these girls for the next level, where um, throughout time, throughout season, they're going to get better and stronger. So we'll see how the girls do coming into the district play. And I don't know, is Devaya pretty good um,
No, so
basketball?
I I think Devaya and Deming combined record I put in that they're like 6-29. So if they get those two wins, they should win those games, and I think they end them with a silver makeup game because they're supposed to play last week, but it's like a postponed for weather.
Hmm.
And silver's pretty decent in 4A. I think they're a top 10 team in 4A. So if they get, like I said, they can them and Cruces can ride and Mayfield can ride a win streak into district, and then I think that first game between Cruces and Mayfield girls is going to tell us a lot about the District 3-5A. Um, I would say even the team that win that game kind of is my new favorite for the district, at least for the regular season, at least. But like I said, it'd be nice to get like different teams winning the regular season and tournament so we can get more teams. But obviously, you're not going to coach that way.
Right. Um, Before we move away from the topic of girls basketball, did you see that the Las Cruces Sun News is doing like a top female of 2025? I think they're doing the boys too. Um,
I
but
did.
I
I think
wanted
they
to
posted a
ask
while
you,
back.
yeah, they posted it a while back and I had seen it. Um, do you have any thoughts on who you think the top athlete of 2025 was for Las Cruces?
Yeah, it was kind of hard. I think we talked about it a while back because there's only a few games they played in 2025. I think, not a few, but like is a
Well,
small sample size.
it's the whole calendar year. So even a girl who
Oh, that's
graduated
what he's doing
last
it
year,
off of.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, it makes it easier.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, I'm probably gonna stick with Shiana McKinnis to be the best player there out of the girls. But you're right. Centennial has a lot of young talent. I think they have the best sophomore class right now out of all the groups here. And when they're next year and the year after that, the senior year, they're going to be a force to reckon with. And I'm going to keep saying that. Since Cruz is a little senior heavy, they have some good players too, with like Jaisha Hawkins, Kira Gamboa, their sophomore Zoe Barrio, and then their senior Sofia Herrera. But yeah, I like Sienna McKinnis. I know Oregon Mountain has a couple of decent players. They have a girl that's like top 10 in blocks per game. I can't remember her name, but even them, they're gonna be better in a year or two.
Hmm. I was looking at the list, and maybe it totally actually not fair, um, because you have to consider all the other sports. I guess I didn't necessarily just mean for basketball. I think the easy
Oh
pick,
yeah,
yeah, because if you start thinking about it, that Addison Massey girl, volleyball for Cruces High, and the domination that she has.
Yeah,
She's
she's just
essentially just been winning state her whole high school career.
so
Um,
he's picking out of all the everyone?
all athletes, yeah. So it's the top
That's
female athlete of 2025 for the Las Cruces
and he's
area.
doing it based on votes, just votes, like popularity votes or
Yeah, which is what I don't like. I mean, so in the world, my day job, when you're talking to people and you're trying to give people options and you're trying to get them to decide what they should buy in the world of sales, you should never give too many options. If you look
well,
on
there's a
the
lot
web
on there.
page, bro, there's like the every girl that's ever played a sport almost. And no disrespect to them, I think you should all be considered for it, but at the same time, if you're considering everyone, you almost don't even want to choose one, right? And so
Yeah.
I think at some point, hopefully, there's some type of elimination of, okay, here was the voting, and we had these five that were heavily voted for. And then you can actually have a real, I don't know, let's not give them any ideas. Maybe let's do our own. But
Hell
you
yeah,
look
you're
at the
giving me
list,
ideas
bro.
right now.
It's stressful. It is stressful to see the list of girls, and maybe it's cool just to see them listed out. Um, I'm looking at it now, but I had read it earlier, and he's dividing it up. Nick is um, a lot of girls have played multiple sports, but he's only putting them down as a school, and then the school and the sport that they dominated in the most. With
Mm,
that being said, the two that come to mind for me is Addison Massey, who dominated obviously for the Las Cruces Bulldogs in volleyball, but also there's a girl for the Centennial Hawks softball team. And remember, the girls have also they haven't lost a game in 2 years for
right.
softball either. Destiny Perez is actually going has already signed and is probably already practicing with the girls. Like she's at NMSU lady softball,
Oh
so
wow.
she is playing over there. Um, those two have shown in rings that they are the top athletes in the last year in 2025. So those would be my two nominations. Um,
Yeah.
with I think Addison kind of pulling ahead there, but yeah, those
Yeah. I
that is
didn't
just my
realize he was
little two
doing
cents there.
for all sports, but yeah, I think Addison just won like Gatorade Player of the Year for volleyball or like Max Prep something.
Mhm.
Again, I think it was like for like the second or third straight year. Sorry, row.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw that and I was like, wow, domination right there off as individual and as a team. Good for them.
And if you right now are thinking about looking at the Sun News and the voting and all that, go ahead and do it. But something that's really annoying, I couldn't keep reading it, Jonah. Uh, I had to subscribe to keep doing that. So if you know anywhere where I can find some Las Cruces sports without having to like pay money and do all this extra stuff, you let me know. I don't know. Do you know anywhere I can do that?
It's called nmprepcosports.com at Substack. So yeah, go over there. Give a little follow, give a free subscription. I'm up to 60 subscribers, and a handful of those, little over a handful, are paid subscribers. So I really appreciate you guys. That's coming from a really thankful heart. And it's cool. Like I'm almost at 100. It's way more than I had at my other website. And again, Substack just makes it really easy to get your information from me. You get an email from me every time I post. Ad free. You don't have a whole bunch of ads on there. Everything on there I put is for free. I ask for paid subscriptions to kind of help the journey, help the project keep going. Um, but it's not needed for me. So a free subscription will work just fine. All you do is type your email in, hit subscribe. Yeah, Frankie's one of my actual subscribers too. So appreciate that.
I don't think I pay. I don't think
No,
I pay you, but I
and you
do
don't need to,
like.
brother.
What I do like is that I get emails from you, so I put it on my email to let me know I favorited the NM Prep Co.
Oh, okay.
subject that comes in, and then it just gets notified. So every time you upload something, I just see it on my phone and I can read it directly from the email, the
Yeah, it's easy.
entire article. So you don't have to like go in, you don't have to download the app, you don't have to go into the website, you don't have to open up Safari. As long as you can open up your mail, you can read the whole article that way, which I think is really
And the
cool because it
quality's still
also
good, right?
continues. Yeah, you can still see the pictures that you post on there. So like you do your like your first little your little
Yeah.
intro, and then you might put a picture. And it's cool that you talk to some of the guys that are doing the photography for the
Oh
sports
yeah.
in the schools already. So that kind of makes it easier for you, but also you can see some pretty cool pictures. So yeah, no, it makes it super easy.
Yeah, huge shout out to Shot by Matt and his little team, and then Mayfield Basketball's, I think it's Chip Flicks, for allowing me access to all of that. So it really helps me, and it makes it cooler when there's a lot of cool action shots and stuff.
Yes, sir. So go ahead and check them out. And in the meantime, we'll continue on here to the competition that we have in the 5A boys basketball. This one, just as stressful, just as exciting. A lot of anxiety here on trying to figure out, okay, Bulldogs are number one. Now they're number two. They lose.
Oh
Who knows where we're going to be going around or how they're going to be moved around
yeah,
now after this year. Obviously, the rankings that we have sitting here on Sunday, um, we're a day away from a completely new list. So this here's just kind of a
yeah,
recap of it. But yeah, again, anyone can win. It feels like this year, as you were mentioning, and you were telling me pre-production here, Jonah. It seems like state is up for grabs. Anyone can take it. And the Bulldogs are sitting at number three in the state. Centennial High School is sitting at number 12, which is a big shift there. That one was the one that they
heck
moved
yeah,
up. And then Oregon Mountain fighting back, staying in that contention for a state appearance at number 13. And then the one that has now kind of they've settled down from really exceeding expectations to 16. If you would have told me 2 months ago that Mayfield was seated number 16, set up for playoff basketball, it's a success, right? Let's forget the fact that
yeah, yeah,
they won seven in a row and they were doing really good, excited, they were ranked really high, but it's an early season. Once the dust settles, they're sitting at 16. District's about to get started. They're going to play Cruces twice, so they're going to be able to show their worth a little bit. Um, we have right now as we sit, we have four teams in the area that are if the season ended right now, we'd have four teams in the playoffs. So um, it's a good it's a good place to be overall for the city as we're moving into state. Jonah, what are your thoughts here on some state basketball for the boys?
yeah. You said it. Like this year's so wide open. Volcano Vista is not. Volcano Vista is like in the past. They're still good. And of course, I'm gonna say some North teams, but Farmington. I think Farmington's number one in 5A right now. Um, no, 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 no. I'm sorry, Rio Rancho. I'm sorry, Rio Rancho.
Rio
I'm sorry.
Rancho. Yeah.
I was thinking of the girls. Girls are Farmington are in, number one.
Yeah,
But
I'll
yeah,
pull
there's
this
just
up for you.
it's just a lot. Like anyone can be anyone right now. I feel, and even Carlsbad, Alamogordo are up there. It's a nice parity to have in this 5A now that we don't have Volcano Vista just running over people. I think Cleveland just won the Metro tournament, um, and now they bumped up to two. And obviously that win against Cruises looks good now. Um, so yeah, but Centennial and Oregon Mountain, I like those spots right now. Like I
Hmm.
said, that 12-13, they could get a good matchup and upset someone. I'm literally not disappointed, but I'm a little concerned for Mayfield. Um, but like you said, at the beginning of the season, to say that they would make the playoffs, whatever seed they get, is a huge success. So
Yeah,
it's they still have a lot of games to move up back in the ranks. I think they just kind of took their foot off the gas pedal, maybe listened to us too much, kind of hyping them up, but
don't do that.
they just they just had a they had some bad losses this last week against Da Vinci. Um, that's really the only bad loss, but they lost to Carlsbad. Carlsbad's at number 7 now, but they beat Roswell, who's a decent team. They had like a player that scored 30 plus points against Cruces the other night. Cruces still won that game, but yeah, it's really exciting. Hopefully, we keep this up and we get all four of those teams into the state playoffs. I think the District 3-5A can get 5 out of those 6 teams into the playoffs, with Alamogordo being like number 11, I believe.
Hmm. Hmm. They are 11. They're right under Centennial there, or I
Yeah,
guess right
yeah,
above. Yeah, but
yeah, yeah.
they are they're in there.
I mean,
So
yeah,
that's gonna mean. Oops, I did the wrong. Clicked the wrong button. That just means district's just gonna be that much more fun. Um,
It's a
that's something
conference
that I
USA of the high school basketball
it's
here.
the mid-major, the top mid-major district in New Mexico.
You're
Uh,
right.
one one thing, if I was going to give an elevator speech on why you should watch or you should go to some of these games, uh, this is the best talent. These are the best 10, let's say the best 15 teams in the state are of the top 15 teams, we have about 6 of them in our area in the same district. So, um, you can sit at home and you can watch sports and you can watch ESPN and see some random basketball game on TV, or you can go out and you can watch some local talent of some really competitive basketball, and for pretty cheap. And I mean, you go to a basketball game with the Aggies, it's a lot of fun, but these kids are also doing some great work as well. So, um, we're sitting in a really cool time where everybody is really competitive. I don't see why um, we don't see at least 4 teams, including Alamo, right? Seeing at least 4 teams in the area going to the state tournament, and at least 2 or 3 of them playing in the pit. So it's pretty
That's what
neat.
we want, man. Right?
Mhm.
That's the goal right there. To be just staying all day at the pits covering basketball. It's wild. We didn't get a chance to do it last year, but this year we have high hopes. Um, but yeah, it's just it's a fun time to be around. And I want to mention too that Mesilla Valley, I think, is number 4 in 2A, and they're sitting like at 8-2, and I think they have a first year head coach, Nick Gomez or someone by that name. I think it's that name.
Or
Um,
someone. Damn, Jonah, come on,
because
come on, Jonah.
because because last year I think they had Doug Coyle, who there's a couple Coyles on the team, so I assume his son probably graduated and he left this year. But yeah, they're doing really good too. And I know a lot of people comment on my Facebook or something, and tell me to remember Mesilla Valley. So yeah, and last year they were 5 seed, and they got upset in that first round by
Early, right?
Mora,
Yeah,
I
that first
believe.
round.
Yeah,
Hmm.
by 1 point. And so yeah,
I'm trying to find them right now. Um, I, they're not 2A.
this should be
Or am
two
I
A.
am I doing something wrong here?
Honestly,
Oh,
Max Preps has been kind of glitchy lately too. So
yeah. I don't know. Oh, that's what it was. I was looking for the girls, and the girls are not ranked very
oh,
high.
the
But yeah,
girls,
they're
yeah, they're
5.
they're
Yeah,
struggling. Yeah,
yeah. Let me share here so we can get some
they're
airtime for
5. Oh
Mesilla
yeah,
Valley. So the
yeah,
boys are 5. They
92.
are 6-2. Look at the strength of schedule. I don't want to knock on them because, well, what does negative 2.7 even mean? But yeah, that's just kind of weird. I guess if you're ranking everyone and all of the New Mexico teams are in one bucket, your 5As are going to have stronger strength or higher strength of schedule
Oh, that's what it
than
is,
your
huh?
2As. So this is why none of this even makes sense. It's not even fair. But you're looking at a 2.7. I did see something on a Facebook post that Texaco and I think someone in like one of the top schools of 4A played each other. Um, I don't know why that doesn't happen more often. That'd be really cool to see
Yeah,
kind of
I
that
was.
inner class clashing of like the top schools playing each other.
Yeah,
Um,
because I mentioned Mesa Vista beat Hobbs in a tournament, and Hobbs is like a powerhouse 5A team. And but
mhm.
Mesilla Valley, their recent game, I think they played 4A Chaparral, and obviously they won because they were like 8-2 last week. Um, so try looking before, see what it says. Maybe schedule. I thought they played Chaparral. Pretty sure they did.
They
Oh, they
beat
are going
Eunice.
to play Chaparral.
Yeah, they played
I
Eunice,
apologize.
and then they beat Gateway Christian, and then they'll play Chaparral at Chaparral on Thursday,
See, that's an
and then they'll
interesting
play
game because
Ruidoso.
Chaparral's pretty decent at basketball,
Are they?
um, or at
And
least they were
is
in the
this a?
beginning of the year.
This might be the last.
Non-district.
Yeah, non-district games. So this is the last week of non-district games for everybody. So next week we'll be recording. It'll be a different tone. We're gonna have to be on it. This is That's when everything gets
Yeah,
started. We'll have more
I- I'm
predictions.
I'm gonna try to make it a point to, now that the games are gonna be most of them here, to kind of make more of a effort on my part. It's hard with all of our schedules, but to get
Hmm.
out there and, you know, conquer and divide. Me and you, Frankie,
Yeah. Yep.
conquer the community.
Yep. Absolutely. No, I'm definitely excited. I think now that the year's getting started, um, we're over the holidays. School's just getting started. I don't think NMSU school gets started till like almost the last week of the month.
Yeah,
But
it's wild.
um, what was it? Wednesday of last week is when um, school was finally underway. I think the teachers went back to work on Monday, and then Wednesday was when everyone was kind of back into a normal schedule. Syllabus day. You had basketball traveling. There was snow in Silver, so there was no. Was it Chris's that didn't travel to something happened like that? But there was
Silver
some
didn't travel
traveling
here
that was
for
planned.
Centennial's
Okay.
Rose game.
Okay. There
Yeah.
was some travel that was planned that didn't actually happen, and we were talking about kids not going to school. The Lord heard us and said, "Yeah, let's get these kids in class." So threw some
Uh,
snow in the road, and they had a full week. So
and they
yeah.
and they read some books
Go read some
instead.
books.
Read some books.
Cool.
Also, you mentioned. Sorry, before we go, uh, Oregon Mountain, I think, went to Los Lunas early in the week, and then they went to Carlsbad, and they lost at Carlsbad. They beat Las Lunas, but you talked about that last week, saying that's going to be tough on them, and I feel like it was, because it just seemed. I watched some of that game on Facebook Live. Uh, Shout out to Coach Danner, or Mr. Danner, for providing that. And they just looked like they didn't have any legs under them, and they lost by like 13 or so. So I was thinking that in the back of my mind the whole time. I was like, Frankie was right. Frankie's probably right. It's hard. It's hard to travel.
It is difficult. I mean, that's what we talk about with Conference USA and these teams who let's just be honest. I don't know for sure, but I'm certain that a D1 Conference USA team will travel a little bit more comfortable than a 5A LCPS team,
Yeah.
and we're talking about, obviously we're not going inner like outside of the state or anything, but you get the hotels, you get the food, you get the preparation. These kids are on a bus that doesn't lean back, and they're going from one part of the country to the or one part of the state to the next. um, so the same way how winning a game at someone else's court is challenging in Conference USA, it's the same thing for these kids who um, they're student athletes as well, so they got projects and things they got to do, and it's not easy. So when we're doing
Yeah.
the analysis of these kids, it's the remember they are they are kids. They do have lives. They're having fun, and for some of these dudes and gals, dudes and dudettes, this isn't their main sport either. So um, when we're covering them, we're doing it to make sure that they're getting a spotlight, but it's not to show their faults or anything like that. It's just to bring an extra level of excitement. So excited to see what happens, but yeah, traveling is difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
So hopefully that all settles down. Now you have conference or district, and you're going to be doing a little bit more of a round robin, but you're staying in your area. So everyone's staying put until playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. Um, One last thing as we're looking here, Jonah, you have the Bulldogs at 3, Centennial at 12, 13, 16. You can see it. Um, who were your top teams in the city
You want me to rank
from the
them?
boys? Right here. Yep. Are you leaving them like this? Do you have Mayfield uh, at the bottom of this list of these four teams? Let's just rank these four teams right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it exactly the way it is right now. I
Okay.
think Centennial has proven that they're up there now, and Oregon Mountain's not too far behind them. But Mayfield, yeah, they kind of dropped the ball for me. I'm not giving up on them, but yeah, they're where they should be right now in my terms.
Okay. Yeah,
What about
I
you?
I don't um I don't have an I haven't seen Centennial play in person. and that's the only thing that slows me down. Where I want to have a bias, but I want to recognize and say that it's because I haven't seen this team in person. And to me, body language is really important. How Coach, I know Coach Trujillo, not Trujillo,
Carrillo?
Centennial's basketball coach Carrillo. Uh, seeing him coach the boys, how he operates with them, I haven't seen that. Um, all I know is the hoopla tournament was kind of interesting for me because I thought that um, uh, Cruces playing the team that they played, who was it at the hoopla
Oh,
tournament,
Cibola.
Cibola. Um, I didn't think they were very strong, and to see that
Yeah.
they had lost the day prior to Centennial, that made me a little bit concerned there. So to see Centennial at 12, um, maybe they did earn it, and that's fair. But I really thought Mayfield would kind of shift over where Mayfield, Oregon Mountain, everyone's just kind of in the middle, which they kind of are already kind of sitting there together. So I'll agree with you just because you're the expert and I trust you on most things.
Yeah.
But I want to make it a point. My next game I think is going to go check out the Centennial boys because I've obviously we see Coach Abney's his girls over at Centennial, but I haven't seen the boys play yet. So that's a big need. Anything else that we're missing, Jonah?
No, I think we had a lot of good topics today. I have nothing else to say, so yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you're still watching right now, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and uh, go check out Surf and Turf Golf. Go subscribe to this man's. Uh, what would you call that? Is your
Just
column, your
yeah, my
website?
column. No, it's a column website. I just say Substack because it kind of sums it all up. So that's their
Mhm.
deal.
Cool. Go check him out. Uh, see us around. We definitely want to make sure we're going to these games as district starts. We'll be able to do that. Um, I saw Centennial and Oregon Mountain did first round of duels for wrestling. Max Preps did not show anything that it was scheduled, so I'm thinking maybe it was like some preseason duels that they did just to prepare.
Oh,
I need to do a little bit more research on that end. So that's cool. Um, and yeah, any last words? Any words of motivation that you got?
let's conquer this
Oh,
week.
this hat. I want to talk about this hat
Yeah,
because this
check out
hat
that.
here is not you can't find it anywhere yet unless like you were one of the 10 that were uh, that were blessed to be given one by a cheerleader when they were handing them out at the game. But the next home game for the men's basketball, they will be giving these out. I think 5,000 hats to the first 5,000 folks that show up to the game. So this is a little preview of the dope hat that the Aggies are getting ready to do a promo on. I think it's pretty sick. So not to make you shy away from the surf and turf hats that we have, but keep in mind that they are going to be doing a promo for some of these hats at the next home game for the men's basketball game. So
Yes,
uh,
sir.
check that out. And that was not even a promo. I just got the hat as a fan. My nephew was waving his hands and he
No,
got it.
those are cool
So
hats. Those are
no
nice hats.
commercial there. Cool. Thanks for listening. See y'all later.
Later, y'all.